All right. So good morning, guys. So yesterday we discussed about detailed report and observations and tuning recommendations, right? Performance tuning recommendations, right? So in this whole process, right, from beginning, beginning of the scripting till you complete execution and report, if you wherever you face any issues, right? If you face any issues, you will, we'll be using or any defects, right? We will be using Jira. We'll be using Jira and Confluence, right? So Jira is used as a defect tracking tool, isn't it? Or bug tracking or a defect tracking tool. And we use Confluence for we use Confluence, as a for documenting all your findings. See, for example, previously we used to prepare test document and test plan document and share it as a Word document through email. But nowadays, most of the companies are using Confluence. So all this Jira and Confluence are from a organization called a US company called Atlassian. Okay, a US company called Atlassian. I should be having some, yeah, I should be having some, trial version of this Atlassian. Let me log into that. Mm. Yeah. So see here, this is, this is from Atlassian. So, and this particular page that you are seeing is Confluence. Okay. And in the same, Atlassian login, you will also have Jira as well. Here is your Jira, right? I'll open it in a new tab. And what is the purpose of Jira? It is used as a defect tracking tool or bug tracking tool, right? And where you can raise a bug or a defect. What is the difference between bug and a defect? Did we discuss that?
Defects means developer side, we are call it as a defect.
Defect means some issues in product environment, and bug means software testing phase.
Bugs are issues found in the testing phase. Okay. Issues found in the testing phase are called as bugs. Whereas defect is
Development side.
not in development. Issues found in production.
Okay.
Found in production. See, all the issues may not be found in testing phase. Some issues may creep into production. So issues found in the production environment are called as defects. Are called as defects, right? So whether it is bug or a defect, you'll use Jira to track them, to raise and to track them. And the Confluence is a tool where we publish all the documents, or we publish all our project artifacts, or all our project documents. Okay, right now this is like we will discuss about how to raise a ticket and what are the defect life cycle and how to use this Confluence and all. We will discuss it later. Now some Narendra asked, actually I missed it. So in this monitoring, right, when you are doing the performance monitoring, so you need to monitor client level, and client side metrics and server side metrics, right? So apart from that, there is one more called browser side metrics. Oh, is that client side metrics and server side metrics? And apart from that, you have one more thing called, yeah, here it is, server side metrics and browser side metrics. I think I had already, we had already discussed it before, but I told that, like 1 second, let me move it to the next page. So performance metrics can be broadly classified into 3 types. What are those? Client side, server side, and browser side performance metrics, right? So what are the important server side metrics? Sesikant, do you have Sesikant? Shravani?
Percent, sir?
Please wait. Shravani? Let Shravani answer. Shravani, are you with us? Ravani, are you with us? Okay. It's like she left the meeting. Push her to waiting room. Yeah. Sechkant?
The processor side. Hello?
Processor side.
The time. Server side metrics.
What are the important server side metrics?
Processor time, processor time.
Processor. Can you close the document on your side? I see that you are accessing the document, class notes document. Please close it.
Okay, sir. Processor queue length. System side.
Mahesh, let him answer, okay? Mahesh, let him answer. Let Seshkant answer. Percent, what is that, Seshkant? What is the first one? Server side matrix?
Percent processor time.
Oh, ikkade unnaya. Sorry, kinda unnai. Okay. Percent processor time.
Processor queue length. System.
Queue length, okay.
Memory.
What is the performance metric under memory?
Under memory, available M bytes.
Available M bytes. Okay. That is one thing. And any other metrics under memory?
Pages per second.
Pages per second, okay.
Pages fault per second.
Pages fault, page faults per second. Page faults per second. It's not pages fault. It's page faults per second. Okay. And now the third category of metrics is browser side performance metrics. Now, what is this browser side performance metrics? So you sent a request from suppose you had sent a request to Amazon server. Okay, you are sending a request and you got a response, right? Now, Sevanthi, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Previously also?
మీరు శ్రావణి అన్నారు సార్. నేను శ్రవణ్.
What is that?
శ్రావణి అని పిలుస్తున్నారు సార్.
Oh, okay. Did I call you Shravani, not Sevanthi?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you have sent a request to the server from browser and you got a response, right? Now, once you receive you will receive this response from the server in a compressed format. First of all, server will send the response in a compressed format. Okay. And once browser receives the response, right? So what is meant by compressed format? Zip format, right? So response will be sent in a compressed and send it in a zip format. Now, once browser receives a response, it should uncompress that response, and then it will browser will arrange all these elements in their corresponding places, or in their as per it will look into the CSS file, right? How does browser know that this logo should be on the top left and cart symbol should be on the top right and this search box should be at the top center? Where does browser get this information? Which element should be displayed at what position in a browser?
CSS.
Right. The layout, all that layout will be defined in the CSS file, isn't it? So it will look into the CSS file and it will arrange these elements. That is called as rendering. That is called as page rendering. Your browser does this page rendering, right? Now, that even if that rendering is delayed, right, it will impact your response time, right? Suppose if browser is unable to render the response fastly, then also it will impact your response time, right? Yes or no? So there are some browser side metrics that you need to monitor. That is why, Even browser page rendering also impact your response times. So basically, you need to monitor some browser side performance metrics, and the important browser side performance metrics are LCP, CLS, FID. Okay. So what are these? What is this LCP? LCP stands for largest contentful paint. Largest contentful paint, right? And then CLS stands for cumulative layout shift. And then FID stands for first input delay. Shravanti, even though I'm talking, I called you Shravani, but I think I clicked on unmute, right? I asked you to unmute. Did you receive that request or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyways, so there are some browser side metrics that you need to measure to verify whether your browser side performance, to verify the browser side performance. Now how do we get this? See, for this we have, how do we get this client side metrics? How do we get this client side metrics, Eskan? From where do we get this client side metrics?
Transaction response.
Shravanti, how do we get this client side metrics? ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాయి మనకి ఆ రెస్పాన్స్ టైం, హిట్స్ పర్ సెకండ్, త్రూపుట్, ఆ వాల్యూస్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాయి?
కోరిలేట్ చేసిందా?
Dilip, from where do we get this client side metrics, Dilip? Gopinath?
మనం టెస్ట్ రన్ చేసినప్పుడు మనకి మన రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసిన సర్వర్ నుంచి రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవి వస్తాయి.
అదే ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తాయి? ఎక్కడ చూస్తావు అవి ఆ వాల్యూస్?
మన టెస్ట్ రిజల్ట్స్ చూస్తాం.
రైట్, టెస్ట్ రిజల్ట్స్ లో వస్తాయి. వేర్ డు యు సీ ద టెస్ట్ రిజల్ట్స్? ఫ్రమ్ ద టూల్, రైట్? యువర్ పర్ఫార్మెన్స్ టెస్టింగ్ tool will give those metrics.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So you
Yes,
will
sir.
get those metrics from your performance testing tool. So this will be given by your PT tool. Whether it is LoadRunner or JMeter or NeoLoad, your performance testing tool will provide these metrics. Remember this, guys. You know
Yes.
this. All of you know this, right?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? Now,
Yes.
server side metrics. How do we get this server side metrics, or how can we measure for server side metrics?
In reporting tool.
Huh?
By reporting tool.
By using some monitoring tools.
Monitoring tool.
Right. By using some monitoring tool, we get all these server side metrics by using some monitoring tool, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
We had used multiple monitoring tools, right? We used Performon and we used Java Melody, right? And there are some other monitoring tools. So we get this with the help of monitoring tools, right? Now, how do we get this browser side performance metrics? Let's understand how do we get this browser side performance metrics, right? So in every browser, we have these developer tools, right? So that developer tools, will give those metrics. And how do we get those? See, till now, which tab we used in developer tools till now? Which tab in developer tools?
Network tab.
Network tab.
Network tab. We used only network tab till now. Apart from that, there is one more tab called LightHouse, right? In a browser, any browser, in a browser developer tools, right? You have another developer tools. In the developer tools, you have one more important tab for performance testing called LightHouse tab, right? So this LightHouse tab helps us to measure the browser side performance metrics. Okay. This we can measure this with the help of, we can measure browser side performance metrics with the help of LightHouse tab. LightHouse tab in, where is the LightHouse tab?
Developer tools.
In developer tools, right? Now let me go here. Yeah. Now let us see how to get this, how to use this LightHouse tab, right? So let's say, for example, you enter any URL. I'll do one thing. I will go to one real-time application called abhyantra.com. I think I had shown that application before, isn't it? So go to that URL. So go to that URL, open that URL in the browser. Okay. And now you see here, analyze page load is enabled now, right? We'll do one thing. I'll open a new tab. So Dilip, even if you're in meeting hall, if you can't respond, why are you joining the meeting? Please call me once after the meeting. Dilip? Okay. So now, I'll go to this URL. I'll go to that application and I'll open developer tools. Okay. I'll open developer tools. So initially, it will be disabled, right? When you open developer tools, right? If you go to LightHouse tab, analyze page load button is disabled, isn't it? Now, once you go to that URL, if you go to that URL in the browser, then it get enabled. Now click on this analyze page load. Click on that analyze page load, right? And it is, observe here, what is it showing? It is auditing arthos.abhyantra.com. It is auditing the page, right? Now observe here, it gave some, it has, verified that page, and it is showing the performance score of this login.html page. It is showing the performance score, right? And you see there, when you put your cursor there, you see it is showing CLS, SI, FCP, LCP. Those values, CLS, cumulative layout shift. FCP is for first contentful paint. LCP is for largest contentful paint. Okay, you can see that, what are the full forms, you can see that here. FCP is first contentful paint. LCP, largest contentful paint. CLS is cumulative layout shift. SI means speed index, right? And this is the performance score of this page. This is the performance score of this page, right? And which tab are we using? We are in LightHouse tab, isn't it? So what information this LightHouse tab is giving? It is giving some browser side performance metrics, and the score is 71 here. And if you see the score, if you see how to evaluate or how to understand that score, you have a index at the bottom. Observe here. 0 to 49 is not good. That is why it is represented in red color. And 50 to 89 is okay. Okay, that it is represented in yellow color, and 90 to 100 is green color. Ideally, the performance score should be from 90 to 100 for any page. This performance score should be between 90 to 100. Then it is acceptable. Otherwise, see, but now we got that in the performance score of this page is 71. So this is okay, but not good, isn't it? Not good or not bad. It's not either good or not bad. And what is the reason for this? If you see here, LCP is 4.5 seconds. You see that, this largest contentful paint is 4.5 seconds, which is very high. And that's why it is showing in red color. Clear, guys? So now, if you report this to the developers, developers need to fix this. They need to look into why this LCP value is very high. Okay. And if you want further details, you can expand this and see what is this largest contentful paint. This is the largest contentful paint element painted within the viewport, right? What is that one? This part, the bottom part, that is taking more time, it seems. You understand that? So that is the largest contentful element painted within the viewport. And how much time it took? It took 4.5, see 4,540 milliseconds means it took only 4.5 seconds. This small part took 4.5 seconds. Clear, guys? So we need to, if you want to explore more on that, if you want to know what is the meaning of largest contentful paint, So click on the link and you can read it over here. What is this LCP? It is one of the metrics tracked in performance section of the LightHouse report. Each metric captures some aspect of the page load speed. So LightHouse displays LCP in seconds, right? And where is that LCP? Yeah. Marks the time. What does it indicate? It marks the time at which the largest text or image is painted, right? Largest text or image. What is the largest contentful paint? Largest content. What is the largest content in that page? That is, so there may be some images or some text. In this scenario, this text is taking more time to load. That is what it means. And that is impacting your response times and your performance score, right? The LCP value is in red color, right? And that is impacting your overall performance score of the page. So these are, this is how we measure the browser side metrics. So apart from that, apart from this, you have also some, some other performance issues on the browser side. See, next one is eliminate render blocking resources. If you eliminate that render blocking resources, so something is blocking the browser to render the resources. If you eliminate that issue, you can save a potential, there will be a potential of 710 milliseconds response time, saving 710 milliseconds response time. Okay. And if you expand it, you will see like what is causing the issue, right? Google fonts that you got it from CDN, right? You got it from CDN, Google CDN. What is CDN, by the way? Did we discuss this or did we come across this before? What is CDN? Did we discuss this or no?
Content delivery network.
Content delivery, right? So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network, right? So it will be there in your performance testing fundamentals content, training content, right? CDN stands for Content Delivery Network, right? So what is CDN? What is the meaning of Content Delivery Network? So basically,
contents will be supplied through nearest geolocation.
Nearest geolocation. Perfect. So basically, like for every application, so there will be some images and there will be some JavaScript files and there will be some images, some files which will not be changed frequently, right? So, but let's say, for example, you are accessing apple.com website. Let's say, for example, you are using apple.com website. And let us say the servers are in US. This apple.com website servers will be in US, right? Now, and this page is having a lot of high resolution images, isn't it? This page will always have a lot of high resolution images. Amazon also will have a lot of images, but you will not have such high resolution images, isn't it? You'll have small images, isn't it? So, right? So, however, if you see some websites like this, they will have high resolution images, and if you want to load it, if your browser has to fetch these images from the US servers, it will take some time, right? It will take, it will impact your response times. Response times will not be good. So for that, what they do is they will serve these, these high resolution images or files which are having more size from local servers. Okay. So throughout the world, they will set up some, they will, the website will have tie up with some CDN service providers. They will have a tie-up with CDN service providers. The major CDN service providers are Amazon, Akamai. These are CDN service providers. Okay, you'll get a clarity so very soon. So if you don't understand something, don't worry. So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. Right. So, and major CDN service providers are, means which provide this service. CDN service providers are major CDN service providers. So, Akamai, a company called Akamai. So Akamai is the organization name, and Amazon. These are all CDN service providers. Okay. So what they do is, Amazon is having some data center in India, right? 2 data centers actually. Amazon is having 2 data centers in India. In which cities? Any idea in which cities are they having their data centers?
Hyderabad and Mumbai.
Right. First data center was established in Mumbai, and recently, last year or before last year, they started in Hyderabad. Right. So there are two Amazon data centers. These are the two Amazon data centers. So suppose apple.com is having tie-up with Amazon. What they do is they will provide all these images, JavaScript files and all, and to the Amazon data centers in Mumbai and Hyderabad. And suppose, we are sitting in Hyderabad and we are accessing the page. Now what does your browser does is it will fetch all these images and JavaScript files from the local server, local data center, local data center or local CDN service provider, which is in Hyderabad. Clear, guys? So that it will be loaded faster, the images will be loaded faster. Understood or no? So these are these CDN service providers are distributed across the globe, right? Geographical distributed CDN servers will be there. So when you are sending a request, see, follow these numbers. User sent a end user sent a request. Okay, so understand this diagram. See, end user, there is one end user who is accessing a website and he has sent a request number 1. Now what does it do is the CDN service provider, it redirects the request to the application and return the requested resource. It redirects and it returns the requested resource. Means it will, like the CDN service providers, first time when a user access any application, right? They will receive all those images, JavaScript files and all those files, and they will store them in their local server. Next time when you are accessing, next time when and then this is 3, and then store resources. CDN service providers will store the resources, and these are all CDN service providers. CDN service providers are distributed across the globe. Okay. Suppose one user sent a request sitting in Hyderabad, one user sent a request to apple.com website. This is request number 1. Now the CDN service provider will redirect, it will redirect that request to the application and it will return the requested resource. Your server will return the requested resource, right? Obviously, when you send a request to the server, server will respond with the resources. Now these resources means, when I say resources means web page resources. What are the different web page resources?
HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Right. So this HTML code, CSS, JavaScript, right? Images, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images, right? These are all called as web page resources. Now, once the server sends the resources, your CDN service providers will store the resources in the local servers. Okay, that is 4th step. Now, 5th step is then they will send it to the user, return the requested resource. Now, next time, let's say another user is accessing the same website, let's say, or same user or another user. It doesn't matter whether it is same user or another user. So whether next time when the same user or another user is sending a request to any page, right? This time, these images and JavaScript files and all these images, JavaScript files and CSS files, these will not be fetched from the server, but they will be fetched from the local server, our local CDN server. Okay. So as soon as the user sends, any user, same user or another user sends a request, it will return the requested resource from the CDN server. It need not fetch from the server in US, right? So let's say in Hyderabad, we have one data center and for apple.com website. And now user is accessing the same apple.com website to, after a few days, or there is some other user who is accessing apple.com server. Okay. This time, what does it do is your local server will serve those images and JavaScript files and all those CSS files so that it will be faster. The page will be loaded faster to the end user. So this is the concept of content delivery network. Okay. And I think next slide also, I gave detailed description. In the next slide, I gave detailed description. Okay. So please go through that. Please go through that description. And Amazon and Akamai are few major CDN service providers, as I mentioned just now. All right. Now coming back to this, where did we come across this CDN? Here it is, isn't it? Google Fonts is a CDN, Cloudflare is got through CDN and all this. Now, the next issue, the next issue highlighted is reduce JavaScript execution time. If we can reduce, JavaScript execution time, we can save 1.5 seconds in the response time, it seems. Okay, so in that way, your developer tools, so your LightHouse tab in the developer tools is showing you what are the potential issues, and if you fix those issues, how much response time, how much saving will be there in the response time. Wonderful, right? Without we knowing any HTML code or nothing, anything, just by using LightHouse, we are able to. LightHouse tab is auditing the page. Our developer tools is auditing the page, and it is showing where are the potential savings. Clear or no? You understood what is this? Reduce JavaScript execution time 1.5 seconds. What does it mean? If JavaScript execution time can be reduced by rewriting the code, right? By rewriting the code, we can save 1.5 seconds of response time. That's what it means. Clear, everyone? And highest potential saving is here, right? If we can fix this issue, largest contentful paint element, this part is taking 4.5 seconds. If you fix this issue, we can reduce this, we can improve the response time considerably. So because this is very high, 4.5 seconds is very high, isn't it? And for that, what is in that LCP, largest contentful paint, time to first byte is taking 14%, render delay is 86%, right? Means we are getting a response from the server fast only. However, because of some browser side issues, right? I mean, because of some JavaScript code or something, or some code issue, because of some code issue, rendering delay is happening by 86%. See, for rendering this text, right, it is taking approximately 4 seconds. This one, approximately 4 seconds. If we can fix this issue, we can save this, this will be the potential saving, right? We can reduce it by at least 4 seconds. Clear, guys? It will not be 0 anyways, but we can reduce it considerably, right? So that is what this, browser side, that is what this LightHouse tab is telling you once we analyze the page load. Clear, guys? And it is also showing accessibility score, best practices score, and SEO score, right? Everyone knows SEO, right? What is SEO?
Search engine optimization.
Right. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So if your SEO score is high, that means, suppose if you search for something, when you search for something, let's say, I will search for, performance testing training. Okay, I'll do one thing, if I search from a normal browser, I'll get it because, it knows that I am searching, isn't it? This is my page only. See, if I search here, it will show my page in the first place if it is a normal browser. But if I use, private browser, this is equal to any other user who is accessing the application, who is searching like this. You understood, guys? Here, I logged into my Gmail account in this browser. So when I am searching for this, right? So it will show my Google page in the first place, isn't it? But if you, because it identifies this, it identifies that I am accessing, I am trying to, this is this user who is trying to access, and it will fetch, it is showing my page. It is showing my page when I search for this one. But if I search in a private browser, if you search from a private browser, your server will not know, Google will not know who is accessing this, who is trying to, it will not know that I am searching for this string, isn't it? And it will show different results, right? It will show different results. Wait, it is showing in, okay, as we will do one thing. I'll search for only performance testing training. Okay. I'll search for performance testing training first from a normal browser. Okay. I'll search from a normal browser first. Right. It got my page. It got my Google ad, and it is showing my YouTube channel, isn't it? Right. Because, it knows that I am only accessing this. I am only searching for that. Now I'll search for this in the same string in a private browser. Okay. The same browser, Chrome browser, but it is a private browser. Now, when I search for performance, see, now, browser doesn't know which user is accessing, the server doesn't know, Google server doesn't know which user is trying to access this, or which user is searching for this performance testing real-time training, isn't it? So, that's why it is not showing my results alone, right? It is showing a lot of other results also. Understood, guys?
Yes.
Yes or no? It is showing, see, it is showing some online testing help.com, LiveTech. LiveTech is another institute, right? And it is showing, like other, it is not showing my page in the first place because it doesn't know which user is trying to access. And this is how, this is how you see when you access, when you search for performance testing real-time training, this is how you see the page. Clear, guys? Understood or no? What is the difference between normal browser and a private browser? Right? But if if I have a website and if that website is search engine optimized, if the SEO score is very high, then it will show my page in the first place. Understood or no? If I have a website and if I kept these as keywords in my website, and if the website is search engine optimized, SEO score is high, right? Then it will show my website in the first place. When you search for something, if your website, is SEO score is high, then it will show that page, right? That is the meaning, or that is the purpose of SEO score, search engine optimization score. The higher the score, search engine optimization, search engine optimization. The higher the SEO score, the higher the SEO score, right? The chances are higher for your page, web page, to be displayed in the Google search results, to be displayed for all the users in the Google search results. Understood or no?
Can
So
we
that is-
increase this SEO core?
Yes,
just
we
like
can
that?
increase the SEO score, but there will be a specialist for that. So that is not our job.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Not a performance engineer job, but it is a you'll have a digital marketing team, right? They will be experts in that. Or if you know how to use increase the SEO score, you can also do it. Anyone can do it. Okay,
Okay.
but that doesn't fall under our scope. That's what I mean to say.
Okay, okay. Just is a general question.
Oh, yeah. All right. So that is what this SEO score that it is displaying here.
Yeah.
And this.
Pawan, I have one doubt here. In SEO, it is using the cache.
Which UI?
SEO, it is uses cache, system cache.
System cache. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. When you say cache, right, it will be browser cache, it can be router cache, it can be OS cache, operating system cache. So I'm not sure about that really.
Okay.
Right. So is it clear on this developer tools, guys? What is the purpose of this LightHouse tab in the developer tools? So we can measure these, this, and there are some metrics here, right? FCP, LCP, this speed index, right? CLS. These are called as these are also called as Google Web Page Vitals. Okay. These are also called as Google Web Page Vitals. What are those? Google Web Page Vitals, right? If you Google search what are those web page vitals, right? So you can get it. What are Google Web Page Vitals, right? It will show you that CLS, FID, and all those only. Okay. You see here, core metrics are LCP, CLS, interaction to next page, it seems, right? So these are all called as Google Web Page Vitals, FID, CLS. These are all called as these three. There are three important web page vitals. What are those? CLS, FID, first input delay, CLS, cumulative layout shift, and then LCP, largest contentful paint. So these are called as Google Web Page Vitals. So we can measure these Google, see what is the meaning of it. Google has defined that these are important for a web page. Vitals means important metrics, right? Vital signs, we discussed what is vital signs, isn't it? So vitals means important metrics. So Google has defined these as important web page vital signs or important web page metrics. Okay, so that's why these are called as Google Web Page Vitals. Google itself is an organization, right? So they had defined these metrics as important web page vitals or important web page metrics. Web page performance metrics are important browser side performance metrics. Okay. So this is all about, browser side performance metrics that you need to know, or, you should implement that. You need to check this in your project. Once you are into some project, you need to check this. You need to go to developer tools. You can simply go to developer tools, open developer tools and see what, how are these metrics, or how is the performance score. If it is, if it is not good, you can highlight it. Or if it is particularly, if it is in red, you need to highlight it immediately. You should not miss it. You should not give a skip. Okay. If it is in red, if the performance score is in red, you should immediately highlight that to the front-end development team, or your developers, or your architects. Okay. Your development architect, or tell to your manager that, I found that performance score is not good for this page. So can you, highlight it? Can you call it out? Right. And now it is their responsibility to take it forward.
Pawan, this LightHouse report is only for particular page, not on the whole domain level, right? This is only for particular page level report. So this load testing will carry over.
You can once you log in also, we'll do one. Good question. Yeah, good question. So I will log in, and I will also, we can do that. Once you log in also, you can do that. Okay. I'm logging into my account. 1 second. I think I forgot the password. Print summary, save as JSON. I think we can clear this. Okay, we can do clear all and again analyze page load. See, I had logged into my account. So clear everything, clear the previous results, and now click on analyze page load. Now it is auditing that home page. You got it? LightHouse is gathering information about the page to compute your score, performance score. Almost there. LightHouse is now generating your report. Now see, this is very less. Observe here. 11 is very less, isn't it? Performance score of 11 is very less, once you log in. There are, that means this page is having a lot of issues. See, 44 LCP value is very high, 45 seconds almost. FCP is also high, LCP is also high. Blocking time is high. Speed index is very high, right? Speed index is 40 seconds. It is taking 40 seconds, right? CLS value is also in red. All these values are in red. Now this is and now how to reduce this, like what are the potential savings? If you reduce JavaScript execution time, it can save 14 seconds. If you minimize the main thread work, it can reduce 17.5 seconds. So it is also showing a lot of potential, savings over here, right? So this is, this is important now, right? 11 is very, it is not at all acceptable. This, if you have any performance score in this range, that is not at all acceptable. If it is yellow, that is fine. It is acceptable. But 11 is at the lower band, right? 11 is at the lower band from 0 to 49. So we should highlight this. That this page, this particular home page, this particular home page, web page vitals are very poor. Our performance score is very poor. Clear, guys? For any page, you can check this for any page in your application. All you need to do is clear it, and if you want to see for the next page, let's say for example, if you want to see for design page, go to design page, right? And now again click on analyze page load. So you can search this performance score for any page, not only home page. Is that your query, Kajendra?
Yes. So, for example, we found issues in via this throughput issue and this response time issue on particular transaction. So, can we go to that particular transaction in the web page and find out the score, and we can say this is like while loading, this is taking in the front end. This in JMeter, it is taking the response time like this.
Yes.
So
yeah, good question. Thanks for asking that. So I missed it actually. So when you are doing performance testing with JMeter and using web protocol, right? when you are, say, I'll open one of the recent scripts. Okay. So this is a web protocol script. Agree? How do you know that this is a web protocol script? Or how can you say that it is a web protocol script? If you see this HTTP request sampler, right? If you see those HTTP request samplers, that is a web HTTP HTML script, isn't it? See, this is HTTP request, and these are called as samplers. Those are all those, those are sampler symbols. So if you see this HTTP request samplers in your script, that protocol is web HTTP HTML protocol. Web HTTP HTML protocol. Okay. Whatever protocol we use now is till now is web HTTP HTML protocol for all the applications, whether it is AOS or whether it is good health or any other, in all other applications are we had used web protocol only till now, right? So when you are using web protocol, right, you are when you run the script, you will get some response times in the summary report or aggregate report, isn't it? You get some response times in the summary report or aggregate report, average response time, min max response times. This will not measure, these are not inclusive of that browser side metrics. They don't measure the browser side rendering. So web protocol doesn't measure browser side browser side performance metrics or browser side rendering of the page. Understood or no? It doesn't consider how much time it is taking on the browser. It will see, like, when you are running a test, right, JMeter will see how much time it is taking from the moment you are sending this request till you receive a response to that request. But when you are running a web protocol script, it doesn't actually open a browser, yes or no? Your JMeter doesn't actually open a browser, isn't it?
Yes, it is
We discussed that
interceptor.
already, right?
Yes.
So then how does it measure the response time? Manaki ikkada vache response times entavi, what, those are nothing but the time taken from the moment this request is sent till JMeter receives a response. So those are the average min-max response times that you see here. And by default, any performance testing tool will not measure this browser side performance metrics. That is why we have to use a separate tool for that, right? Your performance testing tool cannot measure the browser side rendering or browser side performance metrics by default when you are using web protocol. Okay. 1 second, guys. Hello. Web protocol doesn't measure the browser side rendering of the page. Now, I'll go to the performance testing fundamental slide, and I'll go to transaction response time slide. I had mentioned that, but I told that I'll explain it later. Response time, transaction response time. Okay. So if you go to that slide, client side metrics, in client side metrics, I mentioned it here, right? So basically your web protocol doesn't measure the end user experience, right? But actual end user experience will be known only when you measure that how much time browser is taking to render the page. So browser side rendering of the page. So we can't measure end user, the actual end user experience, the actual end user experience when you are using web protocol. We can't measure the actual end user experience, means how much time it is taking for the end user to see the page. That can't be measured when you are using web protocol. But if you want to measure that, if you want to measure the end user experience, how much time it is actually taking to load the complete page, right? Then we need to use, use a plugin called Selenium WebDriver. In JMeter, we have a plugin called Selenium WebDriver. Now, let me show you where is that Selenium WebDriver, right? I think we had covered this plugins manager, right?
Yes.
Go to available plugins and search for Selenium WebDriver. Okay. Not getting that. I think I had already added it. It should be there in installed plugins then. Yes, here it is. Selenium WebDriver support, isn't it? Right? So what is the purpose of this plugin? This plugin allows testing real user behavior at the UI level using Selenium WebDriver technology. Now, when you use this Selenium WebDriver plugin and if you run the test, right? If you record the test and if you run the test, right? When you're using this Selenium WebDriver, so it will open a browser. Your JMeter will open a browser. It will open a real browser, and you can select that browser. You can select that browser as browser. You can select that browser as either Chrome browser or whatever browser it is, right? So then you will be able to measure the actual end user experience if you are using that Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So I did one session on that Selenium WebDriver long before, of course. Okay, but that should be available on my YouTube channel as a public video. Those who are interested, you can go through that. Okay, this one, JMeter Selenium WebDriver plugin to measure the client side performance, client side or browser side. Client side and like nothing but browser side performance. Client side means here end user. Okay, measuring browser or client side. I will mention it as browser or client side performance with JMeter plugin.
Shall we call it as a UI testing also?
UI testing. Yes, you can call it as UI testing. Yes.
Okay.
UI performance testing. You can call it as UI performance testing, maybe. Okay. So, like, please go. I'll share this. I'll share this playlist URL. So here I explained how to add that plugin. What is that plugin? How to add that plugin, and how to when you run the script, right? JMeter will open a browser, just like a real user, and then it will be able to measure. Obviously, this response times when you use a Selenium WebDriver plugin, the response times will be more or less than web protocol. Which response times will be higher? Web protocol or when you use Selenium WebDriver? Web protocol or which response times will be higher, guys? Versus Selenium WebDriver. Yes. Which response times will be higher?
Selenium WebDriver.
Obviously, this response times will be higher because web protocol doesn't measure the browser side rendering of the page, how much time it is taking to load the page. But Selenium WebDriver measures that. So obviously, this response times will be slightly higher than web protocol. Then why not we use this Selenium WebDriver? Why are we using web protocol? Isn't it? Anyone got that question then? If your Selenium WebDriver is giving accurate response times or actual end user experience, right? Why not we use this one only? Why are we using web protocol till now? Right? So this is about JMeter. In LoadRunner, you have a separate protocol. If you want to measure the browser side rendering, there is a separate protocol in LoadRunner called True Client Protocol. It will measure the actual client experience, the true client experience. That is why this is called as True Client Protocol. Okay. This will measure when you use True Client Protocol and develop your scripts, it will measure that browser side rendering also. And it will give you an idea about what is the real end user experience. And that is what I mentioned here. To capture end user experience, we need to measure page rendering also, right? Page rendering means how much time it is taking to load the page by the browser. That is page rendering time. In LoadRunner, we can measure it with True Client Protocol, and JMeter we need to use Selenium WebDriver. Okay, that is the meaning of this statement, right? But when I explain transaction response time in the first week, you will not be able to understand this. That is why I did not explain it. I told that I'll explain this later. Okay, and now that day has come. Clear, guys? Now so then why are we but even in LoadRunner also we use web protocol only. We don't use, most of the performance projects or performance engineers don't use True Client Protocol. Or in JMeter, we don't use Selenium WebDriver. We use web protocol only. The reason is, if you use Selenium WebDriver, see, you remember like when you use a web protocol, how much memory each user takes? What did we observe? How much RAM does your each user consumes?
It's 4 MB.
4 to 10 MB or 5 to 10 MB, isn't it? Right? But when you use Selenium WebDriver, if you use Selenium WebDriver, each user will consume 40 to 50 MB. it requires 10 times more memory. That's why, like if you want to, or even true client protocol also, when you use true client protocol in LoadRunner also, each V user will consume around 50 MB, 50 MB of RAM, right? 50 MB of RAM. So you need supercomputers to do performance testing. If you want to use this true client protocol or Selenium WebDriver, even if you use supercomputers, your JMeter will crash. JMeter will not have that much capability. JMeter is not that much powerful. Okay. So, practically it is not possible to measure this client side performance, or if your target user load is only 50 users or 100 users, then yes, you can go ahead with true client protocol in LoadRunner or Selenium WebDriver in JMeter. If your target user load is just 50 or 100 users, then you can use these protocols. Important call. Okay. So understood, right? So why don't we use Selenium WebDriver in JMeter, and why don't we use true client protocol in LoadRunner is they consume a lot of CPU and a lot of memory, not only the memory. Okay, not only memory, but they'll consume more CPU also compared to web protocol. So that is why we use web protocol. But if your target user load is 50 or 100 users only, then yes, you can use true client protocol in LoadRunner, or in JMeter you can use this Selenium WebDriver. If your target user load is only 50 to 100, then you can go for that. Understood or no? But suppose, understood or no so far? Guys, are you able to hear me?
It started.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
No, understood or no? Why don't we use Selenium WebDriver, and why are you using web protocol? Even though web protocol
Yeah,
doesn't
memory
measure
consumption is more in Selenium WebDriver than
not
the
only
protocol.
memory, CPU, memory, disk utilization, network
yes.
utilization, everything will be more. The
Yes,
resource
yes.
utilization will be very high.
Yes.
Resource utilization will be very high. Server resource utilization. Okay. Or your, load generator resource utilization will be very high. LoadRunner, load generator resource utilization means load generator, you know what is meant by load generator, right?
Yes, yes. JMeter running machine.
No. So, yeah, the machine from which you are running JMeter and running the scripts, right? So that LG machine's resource utilization will be very high. Will be very high. So that's why, we will not go for Selenium WebDriver for every project. We'll go for web protocol. Okay. But if client asks like, no, I don't want, I want to measure the browser side rendering also. I don't want simple web protocol results. Okay. I want to measure the actual end user experience also. And my target user load is 10,000 users. Then what is the solution? You understood my question? Suppose the target user load of an application is 10,000 users. Target user load of an application, of a web application, right? Let's assume it is a web application. Web application is 10,000 users. Client want to measure the browser rendering time also. Browser side performance or browser rendering time also. Also to capture the end user experience, to capture the actual end user experience. Okay. Then what is the solution? How can we do this? How can we achieve this? And let's say, client says that I can provide only 10 machines as load generated machines. I can't provide, 100 machines, or I can't provide you a supercomputer. You got it? Then how can we achieve this? Can we achieve this first of all? Is it possible? Do you think that it is possible to achieve that?
No.
No? You can do that. We can achieve it.
One JMeter machine will have a HTTP protocol, 1,000 users.
We can distribute and
Yeah, distribute.
Distributed
Okay,
load.
10 machines means
No.
10,000
Even
users.
if you have to distribute, the user load from 10 machines or 5 machines. That is for sure. But like if you go with Selenium WebDriver protocol, for all the 10,000 users test, right? So your computers will not support or your JMeter will not support. So what you can do is here in this case, you can create your web protocol scripts and run the load test with the 10,000 users using web protocol scripts. And you can also develop one more script with Selenium WebDriver, and you can run the script with only one user, right? If you run both the scripts together, then you can achieve it. One user with Selenium WebDriver. Understood, guys? Then you will take the response times of this Selenium the Selenium WebDriver script. You need to consider the response time of this Selenium WebDriver script. You understand? You need to run both these in parallel. If you run both these in parallel, that is enough. You will get the you'll get your Selenium web. You can measure your actual end user experience by doing this. Okay. In JMeter, if it is LoadRunner, yes, LoadRunner also you can create web protocol scripts and TrueClient protocol scripts, and you can run both the web protocol and TrueClient protocol scripts together. Clear? So in that way, you can measure the actual end user experience, right? So guys, I will stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Any queries before we close today's session? No queries?
So tomorrow we'll ask this in Selenium WebDriver questions.
Yeah. So please go through that. I will share the recorded session. So please go through that and try it once. So try to create a Selenium WebDriver protocol script by following this once you watch this recorded session. And if you have any queries, we can discuss that tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
So, and apart from this developer tools, right? I missed one more important thing. Apart from this developer tools, if you want to measure these browser side metrics, there are a lot of other tools like Google Pagespeed Insights. This is one tool, or this is one website, which you can use, Google Pagespeed Insights. If you go to that website, and you can enter the URL here. Let's say you want to see for adayandra.com or apple.com. Let's say, okay, you want to see how is the browser side performance for Apple website. You can enter that URL and click on analyze. So this tool also will give you the same metrics. It will show you, see, all those metrics are given by this tool, by this website also, or this page also, this tool also. LCP, INP, CLS, first FCP, and all this, isn't it? And it is showing the performance score, and it is saying it has failed. Core Web Vitals assessment failed, right? These are Google Web Page Vitals. Core Web Vitals means important. Core means here important. Important Web Vitals assessment has failed for mobile page. And see, observe here. It is showing here for both mobile and desktop. If you go to desktop tab, for desktop it has passed, but for mobile this page, this Web Vitals assessment has failed. Performance score is not good for mobile, but for desktop it is good. That is what it means. Okay, and this is the performance score for website when you are accessing the website from a desktop or a laptop. But for mobile browser, when you are accessing the same page from the mobile browser, it is not, performance score is not that good. And you can see the score is only 55 here. But for desktop, it is 72, which is okay, which is in yellow range, right? So this is okay, this is acceptable. But still, there are some performance issues, and these, we can eliminate those performance issues by taking care of these things. Largest contentful paint is taking 3 seconds. We can reduce this, right? If you fix that issue, it will come down further, isn't it? See here, what is taking more time? Load delay is more here. Observe here, the load delay is taking 80% of the time. In this LCP, it is taking more time to load that image, particular image. That's what it means. Clear, guys? So if we did not take care of this, if you share this information to the developer should take care of this. How to reduce this LCP time and all should be taken by the developers. Clear, guys? Our job is to find out the issues and report the issues. Okay, so then what is the difference between LightHouse and these tools? There are a lot of other tools like this, guys. let's say for example, Wislow. There is one more thing called Wislow. Okay. If you go to that website, like you can also install Wislow. Okay. We need to install this tool, and then you can use that tool as well. Okay. This is saying the browser store. Okay. Item is not available. So this is available as a Chrome browser extension, isn't it? You can also, so you can go to Chrome extensions. See, these are Chrome extensions, right? You know that. Do you know this? Extensions, right?
Yes, yes.
So you can go to manage extensions and you can search here. Wislow, right? Wislow is not found here as a Chrome extension. How did we get this extension?
Stores. Go to store.
Where is that store?
Chrome store is there.
Chrome Web Store. We are in Chrome Web Store.
Yes, we can search here.
Wislow. Not seeing that Wislow here. It is showing here, install Wislow for Chrome. I think this is it is a desktop application or what? This item is not available. Okay, maybe that is not available now. But there are a lot of other tools like this. Google Pagespeed Insights is one website, and I should be having some PPT on this, particularly on this. Let me check there. Particularly on browser side metrics, I should be having some content on that.
In the recommendation, that report, right? Test summary report, detailed report. So can we include these browser side recommendation as well?
Yes, you should include. Ideally, you should include. If you have any performance issues on the browser side, we should include them as well.
But we cannot raise any Jira ticket, right? So
You
this
can raise
only
it. Why not?
recommendation.
You can raise it. Why not? So this is also part of performance testing and engineering only. Okay, you can raise a Jira ticket. If you found some performance issues, yes, you can mention that in the report, test summary report, and you can also raise a Jira ticket, and like you can so that developers will you can assign it to one of the developers, and then they are supposed to look into it. They are supposed to fix that. Sorry, I have a lot of content and I missed it somehow, and maybe it is there in my other mail ID. Browser profiling, yes. Right, this is also called as browser profiling, by the way. Okay, this is also called as browser profiling, browser side analysis and optimizations. This is called as browser profiling, and there are some best practices for speeding up your website, like minimize HTTP requests, using CDN, add expires array, cache control header, ggip components. These are some best practices, right? The developers should follow. These are for developers basically. Okay. So and there are some tools, right? We came here to find some tools, isn't it? So there are some tools to find out this. 1 second. I forgot that. Yeah, here is the list. Web page speed checker, Google page speed, test my site, Wislow. This is Wislow is also one tool. I think somehow like it is not showing. Chrome store is not showing now, but this is also one tool. Wislow is also one tool. So PageSpeed Insights I had already shown just now. This is Google PageSpeed Insights. And what are the other ones? What are the other ones? Not here, but here is there here. Google PageSpeed, test my site. Test my site, it seems. That is one more tool. Okay. Test my site. Site speed. Test my site.top. But seems to be a software company's website. This seems to be a service-based company's website, but not this one. Not this .top. Maybe some tools are deprecated. Some tools are, from testmysite.io. Speed test tool is not working. Anyways, you can go through this. These two are enough. Google Pagespeed Insights and your LightHouse tab is enough, right? So you got the required information over there. Okay, so you can go ahead with that. But there are a lot of ways to check that. Yes, please. So this is developed by Google for developers, right? This is this tool is from Google itself. So that's why it is called as Google Pagespeed Insights. Google Pagespeed Insights. Okay. So all right, guys, we'll stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow, guys. Okay. They update the tracker sheet. What concept we discussed today? Browser profiling or browser side performance. Browser side performance metrics, right? And LightHouse tab in. We spend most time on LightHouse tab in developer tools, right? Dev tools and Google Pagespeed Insights. Okay. So all right then, I'm closing the session, guys. Any queries, guys? Any more queries before we close today's session? Okay. So if you don't have any queries, we'll close it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow.